Welcome to the Tesla Economist. Please hit the thumbs up and remember to subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter and talk to me on Patreon. Okay, so we just had the Super Bowl, accompanied with the coveted halftime show and excessively over budget ad spends. Now, as we know, we being regular viewers of the channel, that electric is the future of transport, and a company called Tesla got in there before everyone else and really pushed the industry along at exponential speeds, so fast that the competition couldn't see them coming. And by the time they did, well, they discovered that what Tesla was doing was actually really difficult and ended up having a lot less resemblance to the traditional auto industry as they might have initially thought, and that Tesla have actually done something that is not part of Legacy Auto's wheelhouse. But Legacy Auto have their own skills and strengths, positioned uniquely from Tesla. Legacy are great at marketing. They also conduct a lot of marketing research, MBA-style business. Research and ask what your customer wants, then give it to them. Simple as that, rinse and repeat. Okay, I know you've heard it all before, but it seems highly apt, so I'm going to say it. If I asked people what they wanted, they would have said faster horses, Henry Ford. Tesla didn't start by conducting some marketing research and find out what people are looking for in a vehicle. Tesla is engineering from the ground up. Let's see what we can make, then we'll see what we can sell. And Tesla made an electric car with a convenient amount of range. The rest is history, except not so much for the legacy autos. They're pretty much still trying to work out how to make an affordable EV with a decent amount of range. Their solution so far has been to simply add more batteries, thus increasing the cost whilst reducing the handling and performance. I mean, how is it, or why is it, we think that legacy autos may be able to make EVs too, with decent ranges at affordable prices? The industry know very little about batteries, electric motors, electric powertrains and software. Why should they also be the ones to make electric cars? Shouldn't it be more up to a battery company that actually does understand how to make batteries? Or should it be a tech company that understands software and AI? It has somewhat arbitrarily been legacy autos that have decided to enter into the EV game. Sure, the previous product had seats, steering and some wheels too, but after that, perhaps the similarities start to somewhat dwindle. And perhaps that legacy struggle with EVs will continue, but they have so much to lose. Over a century of history for some of them. Other EV startups have as much to gain as Legacy has to lose, except they're companies that are specifically designed to the task with no other conflicting businesses and ample capital. EVs may simply not be an industry legacy autos can make it in. It's not where their skill set lies. These legacy autos are too big now. It is far too hard to compete with tech startups. The companies have grown around engine know-how, not software, AI or batteries. They have the wrong mindset, and they know this, except these minds don't want to lose their jobs either, with the knowledge their skills are now superfluous. And they're not alone in this boat, and they have unions to help them too. In other words, the ethos within these companies simply won't be enough to bring out any great electric cars, ever, period. At least anything close to what Tesla has at the time. But I'm not sure they will even last that long anyway. But like I was saying, legacy autos do have marketing, and what bigger opportunity to market to the world, customers and shareholders, just how amazing they are at making EVs than on a Super Bowl ad. Legacy are great at advertising. They're so good, they've been convincing people to buy their rapidly depreciating junk for years while suppressing any competition. But that's the end of that. One of the great hopes got through and put them all to shame. This great hope doesn't spend any money on advertising. They're just quietly working as hard as they can in the background to make the best products possible. Whereas Legacy, rather than spending those dollars on actually improving their powertrains, for example, would rather spend millions of dollars on just informing everyone that they're doing a great job of electric too. And what better opportunity than Super Bowl ads? The Legacy autos are trying to fake it until they make it. All these auto electric ads this year are quite a big deal. It means that legacy autos are promoting their badge of approval that electric is the future, a credible source for the consumer, and a big win for Tesla, the only company capable of making a volume production EV. So let's take a look at what's happening here and go through these ads. One of my majors at university was advertising, so perhaps I can add some light onto what is happening. Let's start with BMW. The first thing that our immediate attention is brought to is the major celebrity endorsement. And it doesn't get much bigger than Arnold Schwarzenegger. And why stop there? Why not Selma Hayek too? Arnie is portrayed as the god Zeus. And one of Zeus's role is the god of lightning. Now, lightning is somewhat conditioned with electricity, hence Ford naming their pickup truck the Lightning. Thus, Zeus fits in well in an electric theme. In the ad, Zeus has had enough and ends up retiring in California. But then there are all these people who keep demanding his powers for electrical purposes, and things aren't working quite how he liked around the house. Zeus has had enough of California, until suddenly a transformation. Zeus gets a pick-me-up, an all-electric BMW iX, and then Zeus is happy. Alright, as far as the specifications shown on the ad, the only thing we're told about the car is it is electric. Electricity in its ultimate form though, as BMW is now the ultimate electric driving machine. Sure, they wish. There is something seriously wrong with this company. I've reviewed and test-driven the iX myself, and BMW can't let go of their old ways. For example, there is this enormous ugly grille stuck to the front of the car. But as for this ad, they really can't let go. When they show it driving, they just can't help have the car make some noise. I'm not joking, it practically sounds like a V8. They just can't let go of their past. I mean, if they had to make a noise, why not some sort of battery whirring noise instead? I've had V8s in the past, and they may have sounded cool, but I like the battery noise of my Tesla more. It feels more satisfying. Okay, so a big celebrity endorsement from BMW with absolutely no specifications about the car itself. Next up, we have GM. Again, a celebrity endorsement from Mike Myers and Seth Green. They have a meeting and realise that to be the most evil still, they need to solve climate change first. Then Dr. Evil understands, and they all go and get into their electric GMs in the garage, which displays the Hummer, Silverado and Lyriq, the three major brands of electric we can expect from GM over the next few years. It also has the concept sports car Cadillac, a van, and the autonomous drone, and some others behind. The commercial ends by saying, "We're going all electric," and 30 EVs globally by 2025. When they say 30 EVs, I assume they mean 30 different varieties available, and just not their total sales. You never can tell with GM, given that they only sold 26 EVs last quarter. Either way, a big empty arbitrary number thrown around with another. Absolutely nothing from this advert tells me anything really. It's just GM showing the world that they're on top of their EV game. Of course, no specifications mentioned on any vehicles. Next we have the Polestar. Yes, an actual non-legacy EV company, somewhat, making it to the big time. It was a very minimalist advert, trying to use text to generate lots of impact with music to accompany, using it as a dig to others, such as Dieselgate, but also mentioning Mars, as if Tesla has more important things on the agenda compared to making cars for Earth. Polestar are making products for Earthlings, not Martians. And it goes on and on about how there is no this and that, and no compromises, making for a very low budget ad production, whilst barely showcasing any of the product. The last no text ended up being no.2, implying number 2, after all the drawn out text before to only acknowledge number 2 didn't seem quite like they were selling it up. Wouldn't you want your customer to think you're number 1? Of course, we eventually find out it was the Polestar 2, and then are told it's 100% electric. Nothing else after that. Again, no specifications. Next up is the Kia EV6. So we have this little robot dog that believes it has found the right dog owner for them. Why? Because it's a robot dog, and it just saw an electric car. The ad illustrates the car design, and it actually doesn't look that bad, at least in the ad, except that car looks like the design is going to date very fast and likely soon. Some of the product is actually demonstrated too, showing how it can easily charge whilst parked on the road. The overall production of the ad is good, and the CGI quality of the robot dog is also good for an ad. Eventually, the dog makes it to the car by jumping off a building, but runs out of batteries before landing. Somehow the dog miraculously survives unscathed, and has also been recharged. Kia showing off some utility of the vehicle in that the charging port is two-way and was actually able to recharge the dog. Then all is well in the world again. The robot dog is with the EV owner. Correct. Once again, no specifications. But wait, it hasn't stopped for GM there. No. Remember, we keep analysing GM and realise just how much trouble they're in and are going to be potentially one of the first to burn out from the EV transition. Well, if you were going down in flames and you didn't want your shareholders to know, then perhaps you might double down on that with yet another Super Bowl ad. Bring on the electric Chevrolet Silverado. Okay, I used to love Sopranos, so this was quite a cool ad. I'll give them that. It's a reenactment of the starting credits from the HBO show Sopranos. Except, obviously, Tony Soprano is not driving. Instead, it's his daughter Meadow. FYI, it was actually a Chevrolet Suburban that Tony Soprano drove. The Silverado has taken more of the path of the Cadillac interior than the terrible design of the Hummer, which is something. We see the Silverado driving, and I have to say, it does look better than a Ford Lightning. The car eventually pulls up, and Meadow gets out, except instead of arriving at home, she stopped to charge. In a way, of course, that makes it look like there are GM chargers available everywhere. She then reunites with her brother, AJ. Alright, I did like this ad, and I thought it was cool, and the Silverado does look so much better than ICE pickups. I think they did a good job on this ad. Of course, no specifications mentioned, and the car isn't even going to be ready for quite some time. Legacy weren't able to mention any specifications, as consumers can easily compare them to Tesla and see just how much worse they are. This is just all about building brand, conditioning the consumer to make them think that they are also electric. Forget our old ways. That's not us now. Obviously, Legacy don't want any more demand for their EVs either, which makes it even harder for them, running exorbitant advertising campaigns promoting EVs. But at the same time, they need to build up an image of being electric. I swear, Legacy Autos have a really tough job. What a dilemma. I look forward to a Tesla ad one day that simply explains what the product is, how it works, and how much it improves your standard of living. And unfortunately, the Legacy EVs don't do that anything like a Tesla. Thanks for listening. Please hit the thumbs up and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter and talk to me on Patreon.